Ladies and gentlemen, this is Value of Wrestling, where we vow to put the value back into wrestling on the big time. And we're here again for a very special episode of the one and only show. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's Big Time Rants. Here with me, the Big Time. You know it. Anyways, today's show is going to be about who's being punked. Yes, let's title it, Who's Being Punked? Is it TK? Is Tony Khan being punked, or are we the fans being punked? I don't know. But we're going to discuss it over the next few minutes right here on the Value of Wrestling and Big Time Rants on the Big Time. Back at it again with the Big Time Rants. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm glad you were able to join us. I'm glad that you're here. How's your week been going? Mine's been going great. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Value of Wrestling as always. This is Wednesday night at the time of recording this. When this will get up, I don't know. I have not watched Dynamite at this time. I do plan to watch it. I've heard some feedback on it, and it should be interesting. I hear there may be some flashing back to some old WCW stuff, but we'll see. And we'll review that on the weekly roundup at the end of the week. But I'm here with Big Time Rant to talk about the Punk story. Yes, CM Punk hitting the headlines, blowing it all up, putting it all out there, all over again in the wrestling community. And I don't know what to say. I love CM Punk. I've enjoyed CM Punk's work. I enjoy what CM Punk does, but ever since the Brawl Out issue, it kind of stumbled, and we had that all issued, and then he came back. He was put on his own show, Collision, and we thought things would be okay. We thought Punk would, become a locker room leader over there, and we'd see what was going to happen, and maybe cooler heads would come to the end, and, maybe all these guys would be able to make money, but the doors on the storm shelter have blown open. The Twister has come through, ripped those doors open, and all the secrets it seems to be hiding deep in the lockers of AEW are spreading everywhere. And unfortunately, it's becoming more of a burden than something that's helping this company. AEW was the source of professional wrestling that was supposed to be different, new, refreshing, and something that we thought would bring the challenge to WWE, to Vince McMahon, to those in charge over there in WWE, to actually bring us good wrestling, good content. Now, for a lot of us, I know, we lived through the golden era, and then we lived through the attitude era, where we saw the rise of WCW. For a lot of us, like me, I watched WCW way back in the day. Back in the day, in the golden era of WWE, and the attitude era, pre-attitude era, with all the cartoon characters, and there was other programs on TV like I don't want to talk about Global. There was a federation on ESPN that I can't remember the name of it. I think it was Global something. And it existed for a while, and that was nice. And, of course, we had WCW Saturday Night, and that was on the Turner Broadcast Network. And you tuned in, and it might have been on TBS. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back. So WCW was there. They did pick up some great names over the eras. And then when they got Hogan in the early Hogan years, Hogan Flair, Hogan Macho, we saw these guys come over on the Saturday night. And then they were able to watch Monday Night Nitro. And then from there, it really is history until the early 2000s when WCW just didn't work out and Vince McMahon was able to buy them out. And then we moved into the PG era and all the different things that we've been through for WWE. And it's been... Well, it was 19 plus years before we really had competition for WWE. Now, yes, TNA Impact was there for a while. Ring of Honor was a difference maker. ECW prior was there, giving a different brand, but nothing really was on the main stage like AEW was showing us. It was a group of wrestlers who came together and found somebody with a money man, somebody to finance it, and we thought this is our opportunity. Not only do we have wrestlers who have the mind for the business. We also have a man that wants to invest money, who loves wrestling, who's passionate about business, or passionate about wrestling, who wants to get behind these guys. And we're like, this is it. And AEW in the first year was really great. It really was groundbreaking. We got into new stars. We saw a lot of guys that weren't being used in WWE come over. Some of them being used great. Some of them they struggled with a little bit. But we thought this was the opportunity for these guys to all get over, to all get their chance to be somebody, to be something. Year 2 was still very good. Everything was very hot. We were getting talent built up. We were getting stars. And then we had the dream come true. The return of CM Punk. The first dance. CM Punk back in professional wrestling after 7-8 years. And everybody was excited. I was excited. I bought the t-shirt. And we thought this was going to be the greatest thing for wrestling. CM Punk was really going to be a needle mover. And he is. And he was at that time. And we thought, this was really going to be a hard blow to WWE. And WWE had to come up with something to compete with it. And that's what we wanted. And so initially we got some good wrestling. And then the all-out brawl. The fallout between CM Punk and the Elite just became a nightmare. It turned a lot of people off. It turned me off to AEW for the most part. Because it was just like, this is ridiculousness. And it falls on all of them. It falls on Tony Khan, the owner of this company, the president, the man in charge, the booker, the man who wants all the control and all the power. He sat there looking like an idiot with CM Punk ranting and trash talking about his company and didn't do anything. Didn't say, hey, you know what, cut the mic. Didn't say, hey, let's time out. Let's go talk about this. And let Punk rule the day. And then that upset some of the other guys in the back, namely the Bucks and Omega. And they're supposed to be, or at that time, they were supposed to be executive vice presidents. And as executive vice presidents, I don't think you can act that way in any company. It just wouldn't work. Of course, I don't know now if they're still executive vice presidents. That really hasn't been as talked about. So it's hard to say where their position is. Yes, they just re-signed contracts, which makes this even more interesting that we're having explosion number 2 right after the Bucks, Omega, and Hangman Page re-signed with AEW. They had, I guess they had some good offers from WWE. They really had a debate about it. And I don't know. Maybe some of it came down to that the Elite felt like if they walked out and went to AEW and just did the sold out or traded up or walked away, that Punk would be able to run down their name and say, look, I chased them away. They didn't want to stay. So maybe that was part of them saying, maybe they wanted to make, stand their ground and go, hey, we're not going to run off just because we don't like this guy or we can't get along with this guy or whatever the reason is. Now I know everybody wants to see Punk, Omega. They want to see this feud become a feud and wrestling. But, I don't know where we are. And, of course, with the return of Punk, I guess there were some contract signings between him and agreements that the Elite wouldn't talk trash on Punk. Punk wouldn't toss trash on the Elite. And so we thought everything was going to be good. We got a new flagship show. We got Collision. And Collision is what has been the highest rated, or I don't know if it's the highest rated show, but it's been a really good show. It's really been pushing to be the number 1 show in AEW, which says a lot because that's Punk's show. That show was built, created, and sold on the back of Punk. This is why, they got that extra TV show was because it was going to be about Punk, and Punk has become a huge piece in the AEW pie, or puzzle, or whatever you want to, metaphorically compare it to. But the fact of the matter is that Punk is a selling key, and right now, with the rights, the TV rights coming up, they've got to have Punk. Tony Khan is using Punk to get the best deal they can, but it seems like Punk is using TK way more. I don't believe all this is a storyline. It doesn't make sense when you really dive into all the details and really read it. I know there was speculation that maybe this is all a storyline and we got to let it play out because we got to see what's going to come out of it. But I don't see this being a storyline. I just see this as being Punk being Punk, Tony being Tony, and we're in a company that is just chaos. And we can badmouth WWE, and there's chaos that goes over there. Yes, some stuff leaks out of there, but that stuff stopped quick, fast, in a hurry. They don't play over there with this stuff. Why did Punk not get his way, or why did Punk not really make it through? What was the fallout with WWE? We don't all know all the details, but it sure seems the more we see Punk and the way he's acting in AEW, And a lot of things they said in WWE, Triple H, and others may have had some truth to it all along. Now, I love Punk. I want to see Punk do great things. I don't want to see this version of Punk. I want to see CM Punk, the best in the world, doing what he does and giving us great promos like nobody else. But the way we're getting Punk right now, I don't know. So, recent stories. Anyways, if you paid attention to Collision, I guess when Collision went off the air, Punk just shot a scathing promo on Hangman Page. Now, from what I understand, he can't talk trash on the Elite, so he went after their best friends, calling him a peg warmer, referring to the fact that his toys, his merchandise just kind of keeps the shelves full, makes the shelves look nice, that he doesn't sell. And it was in bad taste. It didn't have anything to do with the match he in. Page wasn't anything around him. It's very interesting. It's mind-blowing. And the fact that Punk would be able to go out there and say this and nobody would cut his mic or do anything, it's crazy. So, from the sources here, on Ringside News, CM Punk essentially buried Adam Page on live TV. Again, this was not a part of a planned shoot, and Punk, kind of wound up with heat on himself. I'm just looking over some of this stuff, but again, Punk shot on Hangman, and I guess later he apologized by a text message that it didn't come off like he wanted it to, and so I don't know what you mean by a peg warmer. I don't know how you want that promo to come off any better than it is, or what it's going to sound like. It sounds like heat. And why are you shooting on Hangman anyways? Hangman's not been on your show. Of course, he flew out to supposedly appear on Collision to record a video promo and was sent home. So maybe you stopped him from being on your show. Maybe he showed up, you found out he was there, and it upset you for whatever reason. I don't know. But things are getting just out of control. So you get that. That blows up the whole internet. We hear about this, a lot of talk. CM Punk cut scathing promo on Hangman Adam Page against CM Punk stirring up the shit pot. And then more stuff spills out. Then we learn about a backstage conversation that CM Punk used with Ryan Nemeth, because Ryan Nemeth, after the first Collision, put on Twitter, or now X, that CM Punk was the toughest man he knew. And I guess Punk didn't like this and confronted Nemeth in the locker room in front of, I guess, the rest of the locker room on Collision, and kind of left Nemeth trying to figure out what to do or what to say. So we know from there, Nemeth has been sent home from TV. Hangman Page has been sent home. He was thrown out and then told to go do a recording somewhere else. We've heard rumors of Matt Hardy coming to Collision just to be sent home. Not only that, the head of talent relations, Christopher Daniels, has come to Collision and been sent home on the basis that, well, he's a friend to the Elite, and since he still can't be at Collision, somebody doesn't want. It's not fair for Christopher Daniels to be there, but Christopher Daniels is the head of talent relations. And then the head of talent relations needs to be where the talent is, especially on a live show. So if there's something going on with the talent, the head of talent relations can get involved and figure out what they need to do to fix the situation. So it's getting nuts. And then we had the recent report of the Jack Perry CM Punk backstage involvement. Jack Perry wanted to have to use glass in his match, but CM Punk supposedly said, no, you don't need to do that. Perry wanted to use real glass for a backstage segment. Punk was of the belief that he did this so he didn't need to come to work the next week, which seems like a big problem. And these are all poor Punk's people, is that he was trying to get out of work, that he wanted to take some time off, so he was going to take glass. And of course we found out that it was already planned for Jack Perry to take some vacation time, so he was using the glass and as a way to help write him off TV for some time. So there you have that. Isn't this ridiculous? I mean, and why is Punk telling Jack Perry not to use glass in this match? Shouldn't this be for a talent relations member to discuss this with the talent about what they're going to do? Is this not a job for Tony Khan to do? So why is Punk having these conversations? And I get he may want to be a mentor, he may want to guide these kids, but it seems like there's a little more going on there. And if people are being sent home because they're associated with the elite, or they're friendly with the elite, or they're more friendly with the elite, quote unquote, or just because somebody doesn't like them. And again, we're alluding to the fact that the speculation is that CM Punk is the one that's either suggesting or saying. We do not know really the details in this. We know that there's a lot going on there. And it may be Punk telling these people they need to go home. Punk may be directly telling these people to go home. We don't know who's telling these people to go home for sure. And it could be really interesting. You know, a lot of things CM Punk has said that have been brought up in different topics. Seems like CM Punk might have some power within AEW. Maybe there's some type of control he has. Maybe he is more than just a talent on the roster. And the more we look at this, the more he runs away with the company. It's like, okay, maybe he runs Collision. Maybe Tony Khan just books it and he sits in Gorilla and makes sure the show runs. But maybe it's Punk's show completely in a whole different light. Maybe Punk's completely in charge of Collision. Maybe that's the agreement TK has with him. I don't know. The sad part is this all basically will fall at the feet of Tony Khan. And Tony Khan has proven time and time again he can't do anything. He doesn't seem to be the decisive boss that needs to take action, and action that makes a change in the big picture. We've seen Punk blow up. We've seen Punk do this. We've heard other rumors from different speculations, especially in the women's locker room. We've had all these rumors, and they blow up. Now, WWE, yes, we hear there's rumors. We hear there's speculation, but a lot of that stuff gets squashed, or usually the stuff comes out later after somebody is left. And WWE knows how to take care of the business. AEW is just letting their business spew out, and it's not good for business. Now, granted, here for us in the IWC, it's great. It's newsworthy. We're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it. We're going to go over it. We're going to get into the fine details of it and try to figure out what's going on. And it's great business for us, but at the same time, I think we're all getting a little tired of the same crap, because it's like, as great as Punk is he worth the damage to the reputation of the company? And the fact of the matter is he's making Tony Khan look like a punk. And much respect to Tony Khan. I mean, Tony Khan is a fan of professional wrestling. He's got some good ideas. He's really trying. We're looking with an infant company of only 4 years, and Tony Khan has done a lot of things. Now, granted, sometimes those things haven't always been the best, and sometimes he's dropped the ball here and there. But I think that's the learning curve for somebody who's not been in wrestling. Like, he's not been in professional wrestling prior to where he is now. He was, his daddy is the owner of the Jaguars. His family owns the Jaguars. He's worked there. He knows how to deal with maybe talent on that end. I believe they own a soccer team. So, they know a little bit, and Tony Khan knows a little bit how to deal with different personalities. And I know when a superstar is a superstar in the NFL, when a star is a star, when he is an elite athlete and he is better than everybody else, when he is the top dog, the NFL coaches and a lot of other people will let a lot of crap slide. We've seen a lot of crap slide in the NFL, more in the later eras. I would say more after the late 90s, early 2000s. Prior to that, it wasn't as bad as it was in the NFL. The NFL has gotten, with some of the characters and some of the stuff they get away with, and it's crazy. But we know if a star really is a star, and they're bringing people to watch the game because people come to watch their favorite team, or they'll come to watch their favorite star, or if there's a star athlete out there that they all want to see, they're going to come see. And CM Punk is a huge star. He is a huge name. He's going to draw attention no matter what. Unfortunately, right now he's drawing attention that is not so good. And Tony Khan's really going to have to decide what the future holds for AEW. And what he's going to do with CM Punk. What is he going to do with the Elite? How is he going to work this all out? Because this is not good for business, and I don't know. Are the Elite looking at it now going, we just signed these contracts, and all of a sudden this guy gets to talk crap on our friend? I mean, now that we've signed contracts, the proverbial leash is off, and we're going to let CM Punk run rapid again? I guess, I mean, what does that say about the Elite? And it's the Elite, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Adam Page, Cody Rhodes at that time, Chris Jericho, and a lot of other names that started this company. And we're not even talking about the 4 pillars of this promotion, the true pillars of this promotion, like MJF, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Jack Perry, along with, Britt Baker and many, many other names that started this promotion long before CM Punk came along. Now, the Elite, not only did they help start this company, but they were vice presidents in this company. They had some say in this company, and it seems like their say and power is less, and CM Punk has more. So how would you feel as the Elite that, hey, we started this, and now it seems like you brought this outsider? Because, I mean, he was technically an outsider. He came in later. He was supposed to be a big name. He was supposed to be a needle mover, and there was a lot of great talent there that we wanted to see CM Punk face. Kenny Omega being at the top of that list, no doubt about it. But the further it goes along, the more it's just kind of a turnoff, and the more that it's just like, okay, how much more chaos before the walls start crumbling in? And Tony Khan's really got to take this seriously. Tony Khan has to make some moves to get this addressed. Tony Khan can come out and make a statement, whether, clear out the air. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Maybe Tony Khan needs to go on an interview and really discuss these things, or at least the things that he can legally discuss. I'm sure there's some things in all this mess that he probably can't discuss for legal reasons, and that's fine. But, I mean, Tony Khan's got to come out with something. Tony Khan's got to step up and go, hey, this is what's going on. This is where we're going to move to, and we're not going to tolerate this crap, because he needs to be taken seriously. And right now, Tony Khan's nothing more than a fanboy. And that's what we see. He has his favorites. Does Vince McMahon have his favorites? Yes. But Vince doesn't just play by the favorites. He does do a balance, and he does get Heather help, and he's not always right, and sometimes he gets told he's not right, and sometimes he doesn't care, and sometimes he does listen. But the fact of the matter is, yes, Vince McMahon has his favorites, but it's not just as bad as it is with Tony Khan, who finds his favorites, holds on to them, and lets them kind of run roughshod, and, doesn't seem to be any accountability. We know, and sometimes he lets them run for a little bit, and then he gets bored with them. Like, he's a wrestling fan who has all these wrestlers wrestling for him, and he's booking for him maybe more than the fans, or he's booking on who he likes at the moment or who he's not tired of. And I don't know. I wish I could get in the mindset of Tony Khan to figure out what he's trying to do. Does he have the ability to make good storylines? Yes, we've seen it. Have we seen him destroy things he's created? Yes. Wardlow being a fine example. Built up Wardlow huge, and just kind of The TNT title is another thing that was great. Had the prestige when Cody Rhodes and Brody Lee were doing what they were doing with it, when Darby Allin got it, and then it just kind of got hot-shotted so fast that it lost a lot of that rub and prestige. And again, speaking of Cody Rhodes, we do not know the defining things in some of why Cody Rhodes decided to leave AEW. Yes, we know it was about winning that title. That is that he never did. But again, there was some personal stuff, and Cody kind of lured to it in his documentary, but he didn't, flat out knock anything or go there. But there are something that rubbed the wrong way. Was it Punk? Was Punk going to get more control? Who knows? But there was a reason more than just, I want to go win the WWE title. I think Cody Rhodes left AEW. And that's fine. But how close were you to losing the rest of that core group that you had that started this company, Tony? How close were you to losing Adam Cole, or Adam Hangman Page, and a Young Bucks, and a Kenny Omega? How close were you to losing those guys to WWE? And that would have been a big shift, and that would have been a big blow to AEW. If the other four big names of AEW at the beginning, like Cody Rhodes, would have jumped ship to go to WWE, it would have been a field day. It would have been a dangerous field day at the time. And could have really, really led to a whole meltdown, a whole breakdown. It could have led to the end of AEW. Now, yes, AEW still has a lot of top contending stars, but here's one thing that's going on. You can have top contending stars, but if you're not putting them in the place that they need to be, then do you really have top contending stars? I mean, let's look at the breakdown, Tony. You have MJF versus Adam Cole at Wembley Stadium for the AEW World Championship. Now, I booked one storyline on here that may work, and you may go a whole different direction, and that's fine. But who do you have next? Who's next for an MJF if he wins? Who's next for an Adam Cole if he wins? Who are you building up next behind your guys? Who are you going to put in these places? If you would have lost an Omega, a Young Bucks, and an Adam Hangman Page, who could you put in those positions, or who would you have had ready to really get into those positions to fill those spots, to continue the momentum without feeling like a hiccup? Because that would have been the key. WWE would have taken that momentum and ran with it, and you would have been having to be ready for backups. And that's one thing I don't see with Tony Khan. Of course, I haven't seen it a whole lot in the WWE. They're getting a little better about it right now. But AEW is not showing us who's next or who's in line or who we should be looking at. Jack Perry's getting built up, sort of, but he was just in a major dance for the AEW World title, and now he's carrying the FTW title. Darby Allin's kind of floating on the side, and Sammy Guevara. All these guys were there, and then they were gone, and now it's just like they've gone flat. You can't take people to the main event and just let them kind of fall to the side. Yes, you can't have everybody in the main event, yes, but you got to keep people feeling like there's importance or there's reason to watch. You got to keep interest. And when the backstage stuff is becoming more interesting than what you're putting on TV, you have a problem. Now, I don't know what happened on Dynamite yet. I will be going and watching Dynamite, but I've heard mixed reviews. There were some good, there was some bad, there was some downright awful. What I'm getting. Also, we're coming up very soon, the 27th, so we're tomorrow, 10 days away from All In Wembley Stadium, over 80,000 people. The biggest wrestling event ever is what AEW is selling this on, the biggest wrestling event. That is their key to selling this pay-per-view, and the matches are not completely there. Yes, we have some good matches, but you've got to put on great matches. Adam Cole, MJF, could be really good, should be really good. The Young Bucks, FTR, going to be good. Then you have Kenny Omega tagging up with Adam Hangman Page and Kota Ibushi against Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Takeshita. So, six-man match. I heard there's a Stadium Stampede, six-man Stadium Stampede thing going on. Or is it a 12-man? I think it's 6 versus 6. I don't know. Do we need a Stampede match in Wembley? I don't know. And then I guess we got Chris Jericho versus Will Ospreay, which is Jericho's good, but you're comparing. It's two vastly different. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Could it be good? Maybe. Is it going to? The fact of the matter is just Tony Khan, you don't have a card that's built up to overshadow what's going on in your locker room, and that's not good. And at the end of the day, it falls on Tony, and Tony's going to have to do something to change the course of this company. It's got to draw the eyes back. People are walking away because they're tired of the backstage drama. They're tired of the inmates running the asylum, and if the inmates are running the asylum, some ain't right, and it's not good. It's not good at all. It's a hot mess, and I don't know. Right now, we're looking at all this breaking stuff with CM Punk. He went off on Hangman Page, of course, supposedly in a text, not man-to-man, not over a phone call, but supposedly in a text, he apologized, said that his contacts were taken out of, it's not how he meant it to come across. But I'm like, how did you mean it to come across? What were you trying to imply by saying he is a peg warmer? I don't know how you take that any other way. Especially if you're not in a storyline, you didn't have a match with the man, you don't have an upcoming match with the man. So it's like, where are you going with this? Your next feud's kind of with Samoa Joe, which we're supposed to be getting it all in. If we get there with you, I don't know. I know there's a lot of people calling for CM Punk to be suspended. Maybe he needs a suspension. Who knows? It's getting hot. It's getting crazy. All in around the corner. It's getting overshadowed by what's going on in the background of AEW, and that's not good for business. Tony Khan is lost control. And I don't know who's being punked. Again, could this be a great big lavish storyline? Sure. Anybody could write this big lavish storyline and be like, haha, we punked y'all. but I don't know if the taste of that storyline is going to resonate well. If it comes out as a storyline, I don't know if the aftertaste is going to be what you want, because it's you can fool the people to a point, but when it gets this out there, you're kind of like, why? Even if it's a storyline, it's like that's what you want to tell as a storyline. I don't know. TK has got himself in a position, and now he's going to have to be the one to right the ship. And there's a lot of people upset in the locker room with the direction that AEW is going, with the direction of all in, and with CM Punk. So it's going to be interesting. So you got to be in favor with CM Punk to be on Collision, and maybe CM Punk's running the whole Collision show, and maybe it's just Tony Khan who's running the TV and doing the producing. Hell, CM Punk could even be the booker on Collision. Who knows how much power CM Punk really holds? It sure seems like he has a lot, because he's getting away with a lot, and Tony Khan doesn't seem to be stepping up and doing anything. It's a story that's going to get real interesting, and we hope it gets better for the sake of AEW. Yeah, this taste, this look, it's not good. It's not good, and I implore Tony Khan to do something, get the help to do something. I mean, I don't know. You've got to change the course that you're on, or you're going to lose the fans. And if you lose the fans, you've lost the war that you just barely are in. You don't want to be the second best company in professional wrestling. You want to be the number one company in professional wrestling. And you got to start showing that you're the number one company in professional wrestling, because you're not showing that you're the number one company in professional wrestling. It's kind of that outcast Misfits Toys island of professional wrestlers. Now, there's a lot of great names, so I'm not saying all the names on there are all misfit toys or just kind of lost causes. There's a lot of great talent on there. Tons of great talent, top to bottom. Former WWE stars that weren't used properly in WWE. Independent stars that are making their name in a company that, probably wouldn't have gotten an opportunity on WWE TV. So, there's a lot of talent there. Even though we call it the land of misfit toys in a way, or I'm calling it the land of misfit toys, but it's what the appearance is. And if Tony doesn't get this ship directed, it's eventually going to affect other things. Talent is going to leave. If Ryan Nemeth is getting chewed out by a CM Punk and his contract comes up, is CM Punk going to say, hey, I don't want him on, in AEW anymore? Ryan Nemeth has a very good chance to go to WWE. Will he be used right? I don't know. Probably thrown together with his brother Dolph and made into a tag team, which could be good or bad. That's nothing to say. But again, if you look at a lot of things, we got an all-in card. We don't have a lot of big names on there. We see people constantly that Tony Khan has, like a Aleister Black, a Miro, a Wardlow, a Powerhouse Hobbs, that he uses for a little bit, and we think he's going to do something, and then just kind of falter. An Andrade. Of course, right now it seems like Andrade is going through some personal stuff, so we may not see as much of Andrade as we like. Who knows? Supposedly, there's rumors are out that him and Charlotte are getting Charlotte Flair are getting a divorce. So we'll see how that goes and what's going on there. But right now, Tony's got a lot of talent. He uses them sporadically, but not to the caliber that we thought we'd see. Especially some of these names that made the jump that we were hoping would really be the next one in line. So, but anywho, CM Punk news all over the place. Are we being punked? Is Tony Khan being punked? Who knows? Is professional wrestling being punked? Is CM Punk in charge? CM Punk in control of everything? It's getting really interesting in that factor. Well, I think I've talked long enough. I don't like to make these very long. I like to make these to the point, and I think we've covered the point. A lot of chaos going on with CM Punk. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see how this all plays out. Hopefully Tony Khan does something to get the ship stirred in the right direction. But with that said, on the Big Time, this is the Big Time Rants. Yes, the Big Time Rants. And this is the Value Wrestling. We vow to put the value back in wrestling. Always, yes. Let's get back over to this. And we are about to say good night, Faradu. Until next time. Are we going? Yes, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm the Big Time BJ Baldwin. This is the value of wrestling. This has been Big Time Rants.